All right, so today's gonna be part 7. I'm just gonna go straight into it. This is probably how I'm gonna start doing it now. Um, Longest consecutive sequence. All right. So, given an unsorted array of integers, nums, return the length of the longest consecutive element sequence. You must write an algorithm that runs an O of n time. So only one pass through an array at a time. Probably gonna be using hash maps because common sense. So we're returning length in the form of an integer. So given nums equals 104 to 132, the output will be 4. Because we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. So the most brute force approach of solving this is actually just sorting it and then seeing if I plus 1 is equal to I, nums of I plus 1. But that is O n log of n, so we can't do that. Um, I believe hash sets automatically sort, right? So I think I'm just gonna stick it in a hash set and it should automatically sort the numbers, and then we just check if the right. So if I use a map or a set that's log n, and then so I can't use a map or a set. Okay, so we can't. There's really no point of using a hash map in this case, I don't believe, because it doesn't auto sort, and then we can't use a map because I think that's what did it say time. What was the time complexity? That's a log n, so we can't use a map or a set. Um, so we're gonna have to come up with a different approach. If I reset a loop, I'm thinking I do a loop and we grab the smallest value, right? No, that wouldn't work. Cause like, what if we have like this example, but I know there's like some weird edge case where they're gonna have like 101, 102, 103, something like this. So, and then I'm gonna have to like, wait, we can do dot count with set, right? With, I mean, hash maps. I can do like, okay, I'm thinking we can, unordered map. We can do like, we'll call this counter. We'll call it, what do I call this? What is it doing for us? This is just holding, so I'm just gonna say hold dot count. We can do like nums I plus 1. We can do like if hold dot count exists, we'll like the next index exists, we will add to the count. Something like this, right? Because we're pretty much checking if, oh, it wouldn't be that. It would be this. We're checking if this exists in the array. If it does, then we would increment the count. But the thing is, if we have 100, we're going to increment right here. Then we're going to increment right here. Then we're going to increment right here. But we're also going to increment for these as well. So then it's going to get like, so it would have to be like consecutively going. So if we do this, we would add 1 and then we can't do 2 loops, so I can't like loop through it again. We can't do 2 loops. This is a pretty big bottleneck. Well, I guess we'll have like a current index so we don't overlap. We'll have like a current. We can do another map. Holding counts and values, and it'll store the current, if that makes sense. I'm gonna do this. So this is what I'm thinking. How do I reset this? There's no eraser. Am I like draw type? Yeah, let me start over. All right. So we have this. I was thinking we get a map. We put all these values into our map. I'm gonna just type into our map. And then we do map dot count, which checks. And we're pretty much gonna do like so we're checking if like one after exists. If that's true, I want to store, I want to say like current equals, and then we'll have like a counter plus plus. Oh wait, no, we were gonna put current in another map. And then we'll do like plus plus for that index. I'm pretty sure it would be like this. I don't know if it's pushback or insert, it doesn't matter, but it would look something like this. And then once we have this other one, we can take that at the end and then we can sort those using a vector. No, we can't even sort. We can just compare the two. We can compare map 1 and 2 and see which key value pair. We'll do like dot second. We'll see which one's greater, and then we'll store the greatest one in, it'll be a vector, it'll be a pair. We'll store it in a pair. And then do result equals pair dot first. That makes sense. I think that makes sense. So I know a map uh, can hold two vowels or one, right? Like int, int, or just. Okay, so I guess it's gonna be a set. We'll do four. We use insert or pushback. I would just use insert. Alright, so now we have all our values in there. So we do another for loop. Alright, now we're gonna check if this exists, we'll do, what was my logic? I don't even think we need this current. We'll just do, the hell? We'll just do this, right? I think that's logical because we insert the index and then we increment the count. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. Because then for every unique value, it's just gonna increment the count. We need to have like a chain. I don't know. I don't know how I would do this. Because we would need a chain. We would need a start, which would be the lowest value. And then we would need a search for the next consecutive value. And then we can't restart the loop inside the same loop because it's not O of n. So we can't go back. I'm actually getting mad, bro. Because, like, if I was in an interview right now, I wouldn't get this right. I would just be sitting here, like, all right, I'm not going to make any progress. So it's like, might as well just, uh, I need help. Bro, it's because, like, with some of these problems is, like, the solution is, like, the most craziest shit ever. This is an easy problem. Just give me the answer. But your code has a few issues that will stop it from working. Okay, so I have a typo. Yeah, that is very correct. The logic map 1 insert nums I doesn't make sense for counting sequence and lengths. It doesn't. Insert in a map takes a key value pair, not just an integer. Oh, it takes a pair, not an integer. Okay. You actually don't need it in unordered map for this problem. Unordered set is enough for open solution. The key trick, put all numbers in a set for O of 1 lookups. Okay, I did that. Only start counting when the number is the start of a sequence. Num minus 1 not in the set. Okay, we're cooking. That makes sense. Walk forward counting how long the sequence is. You can do a while loop inside of a for loop and it's still O of n. You have a nested loop. Is that still... The outer for loop iterates over each unique number once. The inner loop only runs when we find the start of a sequence and increments through the sequence. So total work across both loops is O of n. So you can have a nested loop and still have That's crazy. See, it's some bullshit like this, bro. I didn't know I could use two loops. I'm actually upset, bro. This is actually insane. So they got a while loop going with my logic, right? The current number plus one, and then they just incremented current and length. Bro, if I knew I could use two loops, this wouldn't have even been a fucking problem. Like, this wouldn't have even, I would have got this shit. Like, alright. Well, that's good though, because I'm learning more time complexity, like, knowledge, information, and yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this one. Moving forward, um, we attempted this one. We attempted this one. Now we're moving into two pointers, but I'm gonna start doing two problems. I'm gonna be reattempting these ones right here until I can get them done without having to like use ChatGPT or anything. And I'm also going to be attempting these. So I'm gonna start off with a problem like this. And then after I attempt it, I'm gonna go here and try to resolve this one. And if I don't get it the next day, I'm gonna try this one and do this one, and then we're just gonna keep going and going and going until. And once I get to three, like let's say all of these are attempted, and now I'm doing like three problems consecutively. I'm gonna cap it right there, and I'm not gonna move forward until I can do these. That makes sense. Just because I need to just keep, I need to be doing something new every single day. I can't just do the same thing over and over. Like it's gonna take way too much time. But yeah, glad I can clarify that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.